Mars approaching the Earth, changing the vibrational frequency of the planets, making it a little materially less dense, okay, a little more psychically responsive. Materialism, materiality, first half of that word, mater, mother, okay, the evil mother, the devouring mother, the possessive mother, Kali, the destroyer, Kali Yuga, coming to the end of the Kali Yuga. Some of that Kali energy just left the planet, okay? Possessiveness, no. I realized I've had all these struggles with my girlfriend back in New York, and, I realized that I'm just not monogamous. I don't think anybody is monogamous, because monogamy is based on the whole Christian thing, and it's based on trying to cling, trying to possess. You can't possess. You can't cling. You can only, all that does is impede other people's evolutionary processes. You have to fully liberate other people, and you have to, just increase the love. If they love somebody, you love that person. That's the way it works. And I think Terence McKenna was right about this. In the 60s, we had this idea of this mass transformation that didn't really work, that it was going to be this total transformation through the masses, everyone's getting so amped up. No, it doesn't work like that. It's about intensification among a smaller group. Rupert Sheldrake talks about morphinogenic fields, the 100th monkey principle, okay? A certain number of monkeys on an island learn a skill. That skill is transmitted through the morphogenetic field to all the monkeys on different islands, okay? Gurdjieff, 200 fully conscious people can change the nature of all life on Earth. So we don't need the mass media. What we need is, and we do need the mass media. Whatever you do to get the message out, to get the understanding out, to move the knowledge along, is all good. Use everything that you can. There's a reason that we've developed the internet, global consciousness, the synaptical brain of the planet. It's so, as this transformation happens, we can move these ideas along at instantaneous points, It's part of the process. I'm going to take that in a different direction. I just want to talk about Kant for 1 second. Steiner, philosophy of freedom, okay? Kant had the idea that we have our sense perceptions is like a net, and we can't get to the reality behind the net. It's separated from us permanently. We can't get to the things in themselves. Steiner and the philosophy of freedom, to me, completely just defeats that argument, because he points out that perception is always and already an act of cognition. As soon as you're perceiving something, you're thinking, you're cognizing it, you're thinking it, you're bringing it into manifestation, you're allowing it to manifest. So Steiner said that there's no limits to perception, no limits to thought. It's infinite. Gebser talks about it's not about the expansion of consciousness, that's what they said in the 60s. It's about the intensification of consciousness. Words are very important. Intensification. No limit to the intensification. You can go, and infinitely deep. Time is an illusion. Arguelles basically, brilliantly, in his book *Time in the Technosphere*, this new book, which is, he's so overwhelming, he's so over the top that it really puts people off. But the ideas are just so there and so amazing, and it's like you have to move into his space, like point by point, But basically, he says that the calendar is the macro-organizing principle of a culture. If you have a calendar that's not synchronized to natural patterns, to the cosmic order, if you have a 12-month calendar, arbitrary days named after vicious Caesarian emperors, that calendar is desynchronizing everybody. And if they become desynchronized, they become insane. The whole culture will become insane. So he put forward a new calendar, 13-moon calendar, okay, trying to resynchronize with the lunar cycles. I don't think it's perfect. I think there's good fine-tuning to do on what he's done, but it's beautiful. It may be good enough. I think that this calendar that he created, you can go to www.tortuga.com, read about it, www.13moon.com, read about it, download it, find your galactic signature. Instead of an astrological sign, you have a galactic signature. Mine was yellow spectral star. My birthday, June 15th, 1966. June 15th, the day Paco Vaton's tomb was opened in 1952. Yellow spectral star. Jose Arguelles has this thing of sort of partners that you have. You have a kind of, you have an antipode partner, you have an occult partner, you have a helping partner. Okay, he's a blue spectral monkey. I'm a yellow spectral star. I happen to be his perfect helping partner. When when I was going to interview him, he asked for my birth, date, and he recognized that this was part of this whole process that we're going through. You can do your own research, I can't. There's the John Major Jenkins book, Maya Cosmogenesis. This is my friend John Hoops.
The Maya calendar is based on a variety of very fundamental concepts about humans and their place in the world and in the universe. And what makes the Maya calendar very distinct from ours is that one thing is that the Mayas thought in what was called a vigesimal system. That is, we tend to count to base. We can use a base 10 system, and we count to 10 on our 10 fingers. For the Mayas, the concept of wholeness was the whole body, and you have 10 fingers and 10 toes. So 20 is a complete being, and Weenik, or Weenal, is 20. So the base 20 is a very fundamental part of the calendar. Now, there are two parts to the Maya ritual, to the Maya calendar. One of them is a ritual calendar of 260 days, which is based on 20, and then you have the number 13, which is a very fundamental number, which is a prime number. It's a number that resonates in the cycles of a number of planets and natural processes. But the most basic calendar is one that we can trace back to about 500 BC and involves the intersection of the numbers 20 and 13. There are a total of 13 sacred months and 20 numbers. And each number, you run through 20, and then you go to the next month. So in any 260-day period, you have a number and you have a month name, and that gives that day its special quality. But that's the ritual quality of that day. There is also a 365-day real-world calendar, which is tied to the rotation or the circling of the Earth around the Sun, the orbiting of the Earth around the Sun, which is based on the same 20 numbers, but a total of 18 plus 1, 19 months. And 18 months of 20 days each gives you 360 days. And then there's a 5-day period, which is considered to be the Wayeb, which is a very dangerous period, and in fact is a period when things are in flux. And during the Wayeb, which typically falls during the spring, you need to be very, very cautious. But you cycle through 20 days in 18 months, and then you add the 5, and you get 365. Well, these two calendars interact with each other in a much larger cycle, in that if you permute 260 against 365, what you find is that every day in that period has a unique quality, one that comes from the number, and every number has a potency. We tend to associate numbers like 4 or 3 or 7 with magical qualities. Every number for the Maya had its significance, 2, 3, 8, whatever. The months also had their particular qualities, and many of the months on the ritual calendar are named after natural objects. So in the ritual calendar, you have a quality. Then in the worldly calendar, you have a quality. So every single day is imprinted with the quality of the sacred calendar and of the ritual calendar. Well, those two only permute against each other once every 52 years. Now, if you think about the Maya world, not that many people reach the age of 52, but you typically would have only one birthday in a 52-year cycle. And if someone could reach 2 birthdays, if they could actually live to the age of 104, which probably happened every once in a while, that person was a person of a quality that was absolutely exceptional. But these two calendars permute against each other. And then there are a series of levels in the larger calendar. That is, you have the quality of the day, then you have the quality of the month, of which there are 18 months, and then those months go into a cycle of 20 years called a katun. And then those 20 years go into a cycle of 400 years called a baktun. And the Boktuns can reach the number of 13, but there's no 14th Boktun.